Hello, thank you for selecting this video. You did good job selecting this. I have real experience, the true experience, 20 plus years in the IT, doing all kind of development work from the developer level to the director level and doing even hands-on even today. So I already created a video. It's available in the YouTube. You can actually look at my initial video. It explains about in case if you need to understand how to configure the Visual Studio Code to build the Python programming. But this one explains you a little bit more about how you can build on top of that unit test framework as well. It's nice to actually understand both. So today we are going to work on creating the code. That means generating the code through LLM, right? Generative AI, LLM model using an agent. We have an agent and it uses the LLM model. It generates the code in Python. We will actually focus on that one. So there are some of the GitHub extensions has to be installed in the Visual Studio Code. So you will quickly understand that. Let me actually go to Visual Studio Code and show you. Here, if you look at the Visual Studio Code, I already created the environment and I already created Python installing and configuring and all those things. So if you watch this video, it will actually explain to you how you can actually set up the overall. And also, if you go to the extension, I already installed the extension, whatever actually I need for the GitHub, those extensions also installed. You can look at the document. It is pretty easy actually. You can select the extension and install it. And also for the saving the time, I created an agent as well. So the creating the agent is pretty easy. You can go ahead and create the agent. And I create an agent. I call it as a Pluto code developer. So the name of the agent is called Pluto code developer. This agent is going to explain to me about all these skills, whatever actually I requested. It's going to help me to prepare in the Python programming as a developer. And also I can keep enhancing a skill whenever I want to make this agent not only for Python, it should be more skilled with other skills. But later in the videos, you will see I'm going to add the more and more, making this agent not only for doing the Python programming, this agent is going to do several things, the Python, PyTest, unit testing, and helping others, and also pushing into the DevOps pipeline. So many things we can make this agent become more and more smarter and smarter and smarter. Just like our developer starts with a junior developer, becomes a senior developer, then become the manager or become a lead developer or become an architect. Like that, the skills will be improving. The agent, we will make this agent more and more robust kind of agent to manage everything by the agent itself. So since I already created these environments, so now let's start working on creating the code, how we can actually make the agent, our agent to generate the code. So let's go under the environment. Let's create a folder called source. So once we create the folder called source, so let's prepare some small font, not font, small prompt to generate the code, right? So let's create a file. So here we are going to create a file called hello world Python file. See, once you actually have this, it will ask you, why don't you actually provide the prompt for me? I can generate it. It says, do you want to generate the code? Or you can write the code by yourself. It's if you want to generate the code, you can use this particular option and generate it. So I am going to ask to generate the code. So when I am asking, I am going to provide some prompt. So I have some prompt I already prepared. So what I'm saying to the agent, hey, can you generate a Python program that prints hello world? Use a main class structure so the code can be executed directly. Ensure the code is clean and should be readable in the proper coding style. So here I'm using the model, which is our LLM model, is Claude. You can use any model. So once I have selected the model and I have an agent is already selected with the model, then I'm going to ask the agent to generate the code. So now it is generating the code. See how quickly it's built the code. It created in the line number 1 the class, right? It's an object-oriented way. And it created the methods and the functions you can call. And also it's initialized using the self-initializer. And then it is asking how to display this, right? So if you keep this code, so that means this file is keep means the file actually attached, the date code is attached to this file. So now go to the terminal and let's see whether this code is going to work as expected. So if we go to .vnv, if we go to source folder, see the file is there. We will see Python. We will execute this. See, when we executed this, it displayed hello world because only the message is hello world. So now I will enhance this message much better. If I say here, enhancing this much, let's say it added by itself inline, hello world from Python. You can accept it, or you can say, no, you don't want to accept this, or I am going to just accept this. So I will accept this, then I will save this file, whatever we just, and then rerun this. Now I'm going to get hello world from Python instead of getting just hello world. See? So that means whatever the code just now it's generated, it is working. So you can see here, it added 2 different methods, but this code is not very clearly created in the professional manner because our prompt said create a simple code. So now let's jump on creating another hello world with the more robust one. So I'm going to create another file. I can actually enhance the same file, but you can actually see what it actually added initially and what is going to add differently if you are going to provide a different prompt. For example, if you want to update this file, you can tell here, hey, what you want to do this file, whether you can enhance it further, make it much optimizer way, or much exception handling, whatever you need to build. So now, instead of enhancing the same file, let's add a new file. I'm going to create the same one, hello world. I will call it as number2.py. So this is an empty file. Now I'm going to tell the prompt what it has to do. I already have some prompt, the context. I'm going to tell this, I'm telling, hey, generate a Python hello world program that includes a main class to execute the program. Try except finally blocks to enter the errors gracefully. Proper logging or printing in case of exceptions. See, this is the better way to write the code. So when you write the code, you need to think about in 360-degree view. So what happens if the code fails? What happens something goes wrong? You need to think all those things, right? So that's why it is easy when you are a developer, you develop the code and push the code into the prod environment. In the prod, how that code is going to be debugged or how the code is going to be managed in case of any kind of issues in the code. So let me generate the code and you will see how nicely it's going to generate the code. See, pretty quickly it is generating the code. Look how this code actually, if you compare this code with other code, let's keep this code. So here is the hello world Python program. Initially we gave a simple prompt. It generated the simple without adding any try catch block error. And if you do the hello world 2, the one actually we told the agent, hey, generate using proper try catch exception block, and also make sure it has a main class. In the main class also it will have exception, finally, blah, blah, all those things, right? So when we said this, it actually generated in such a way that this has to be, in case of error, it will actually throw in the exception, right? Let's actually run this one and to see how this one will behave. Hello, 2.py. See, now it actually said finally, under finally, it says execution completed. If you look at here, the hello world, it is invoking the hello world as a class. Then it is display message. It is going here and executing this. The self message, we are sending the self message as hello world, right? So that hello world message is actually displaying here, hello.world. This is the self.message, hello.world. Here, in case if you want to add further, you can add hello world from Python program. See, it will give you some inline code as well. Just save it, then run it again. See, it's coming up with displaying the entire thing. So that's why you need to decide how you want to write the code. See, this code is more professional and more beautiful and more cleaner way to write compared to the simple prompt you provided. The amount of time it took exactly the same, right? So this is the beauty of writing the code and instructing the agent, hey, I want the code like this, right? Then the agent will write the code for you the way you are looking for. Let's actually run a couple more prompts and a couple more files to generate how it's going to help us to generate more in a better way. Now let's create a little bit more deeper level the file programming. So now I have another file I'm going to create. I will actually name this as Celsius to Fahrenheit conversion Python program. Okay. So now I'm going to provide the prompt for the agent, AI agent to generate. Now I have a prompt. I will ask how it can generate the code. So I just prepared the prompt. Let me paste the prompt here to save some time. So I am telling, create a Python program to convert temperatures between Celsius to Fahrenheit using object-oriented programming, right? Implement a reusable utility class for conversions and main class to execute the program. Ensure the methods are modular and maintainable. Include basic error handling for invalid inputs. See, if you provide this whole thing, it will create it for you. So we are actually using the same model. The models are not changed. I'm using the Claude, right? By default model with the GitHub Copilot. Now I'm going to generate the code. See how quickly it populates the code to understanding. Look at from the beginning. It created a class called temperature converter. It added the comments as well. What beautiful it is. And then it created some of the static methods. You know the static method and the class methods. So then it actually using the instance proper object-oriented way. If you look at this whole thing. Now you are a developer and you are an experienced developer to talk to the agent to build the experience level code, right? So look at this whole code it built. Now I'm going to keep this code. When I say keep it, now it's added into my file. So now the code is there. So you will look at the code, how beautifully it's created with indents and everything. And I told the code, hey agent, hey, make sure you add a main method, right, for me to execute this. So let's test this, how it works, how beautifully it's generated. The file is already saved. It is under directory. It created Celsius Fahrenheit. It's running. See, now since I asked this one, making sure the valid way to run this with the input, it's asking the input temperature converter. Celsius is number one, Celsius to Fahrenheit. Second one is Fahrenheit to Celsius. Third one is exit. I said create it vice versa, both, right? So since we are doing number one, if I say one, so it will asking me enter the temperature in Celsius. So I will say the temperature in Celsius is 30 degrees. It converts me into Fahrenheit. 30 degrees equal to 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I want to see number two. So the Fahrenheit to Celsius. The Fahrenheit I will say 78 degree in Fahrenheit. So it will convert me into 25 degree 0.56 into the centigrade from 78 to this. So The same way you can actually play around number of times. For example, again I will ask, so now temperature Celsius is 40 degree. 40 degree in Celsius is nothing but 104 degree in Fahrenheit, right? So how beautiful it is. It creates so quickly in more professional way. That's what I'm saying. It's a professional way it creates the code. I'm going to add more and more videos and generating the code in a more professional way. You can see the code developed and delivered. And also in the future videos, I will show how this code can be directly deployed into the GitHub or any kind of Git repositories. Thank you so much for watching and tune in for the future videos.